Welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. A new scope today come from Sportsman Gun Centre. This is a Crimson Trace Hardline Pro, and it's kind of a mid to high end scope with a great specification and magnification range. It's a 4 to 16 magnification with a 50mm objective lens. The Hardline Pro is available in first and second focal plane variations, as well as the minutes and mils options, and this is the minutes of angle. You can also have it with or without sort of adjustable turrets for longer range shooting, but that's not to say the mechanics within won't do the same thing, but it depends if you want it more for hunting or more for target shooting. But here we go, this is the scope. So it's got a 30mm aluminium body tube. It's all aerospace grade aluminium, and it's got a nice sleek design. It is more of a hunting scope than a tactical and precision scope because you've got cap dials to do your adjustment with. Now this one's in minutes of angle. You can also have it in milliradians as well if you want to, and that will of course match the reticle if you go for the first focal plane version, but this is the second focal plane version. Second focal plane means the reticle stays exactly the same size regardless of whichever magnification setting you use. Right, let's just have a quick look what's in the box. There's a nice cleaning cloth. We've got an instruction manual, Crimson Trace little sort of cap there that goes on there. I'm not sure quite what you're going to do with it, but you might want to use that if you want, maybe more for display and showing off circumstances. And it's also got elasticated lens covers, so those stretch over and protect your objective and ocular lens. Now 30mm tube makes it very easy to mount, and because it's got quite a lot of space here, so you've got plenty of room to move the eye relief around to make sure it fits your rifle. 50mm objective lens means it's about middle of the road for letting light enter into the scope and get compressed into all those internal tubes and come back out the back end. So it's an ideal specification for a very versatile rifle. It's got side parallax control on here, which goes all the way down to 50 meters, which means it's good for rim fire and centre fire. Air rifle, it might be a little bit far in that respect, but of course, if you've got the magnification set low, you won't really notice that parallax and focus shift. Technically, yes, it is there, but it's less of a technical factor you've got to be concerned about. Of course, at longer distances, parallax is more important, especially at high magnification as well, where you will, relatively speaking, see the reticle moving. The back end here has got a fast focus eyepiece, so if you look at the sky in the distance, obviously not the bright sunshine, look at that in the distance, set this on infinity, and you can look through that, and you can change it, look away, look through it again, and keep adjusting it. The reason for looking at the sky in the distance is to relax the lens in your eye to focus effectively at infinity, so when you do look at the scope, your eye's not having to do any work, and once you've got that focus set up here for your individual eyesight, you can then leave that alone forever because everything in the image is controlled by the side parallax or side focus dial. The reticle inside has got minutes of angle marking on it. We'll get a photograph through that when we're out using, because I'm going to put this on a 2-2 rimfire and take it out shooting. Now this isn't an illuminated reticle scope, which isn't necessarily a downside because it means the money has gone into producing better quality lenses, better quality mechanics, and hopefully you're going to get a finer image quality. If I take these caps off here, we can feel it's got nice firm clicks for the windage and elevation on top, and those are in minutes of angle, which corresponds approximately to inches at 100 yards, but it's not quite the same. Parallax on the left side seems to adjust without any backlash in it that I can feel, so I'm looking forward to putting this on the rifle and getting out shooting. Well, I've been out, I've used the scope. Very happy using it, no problems at all. Interestingly, I've put it on a 2-2 rimfire, and people say, well, it's not really a stalking rifle, is it? Well, actually, a 2-2 rimfire, you know, taking on rabbits and pests and things like that in low light conditions is not actually that dissimilar to shooting a larger rifle on deer. The only real critical difference is the actual amount of recoil you'll be having from the rifle. Now, these scopes come with a lifetime warranty anyway, so you haven't got to worry about the recoil damaging the optics or anything like that, and of course the mechanics within are totally up to the task. Eye relief on this scope is 3.5 inches, which is about 89mm. Now that's perfect for a stalking rifle or a rimfire because that 89mm eye relief, being slightly shorter than the 100mm eye relief, does tend to go alongside having a slightly more forgiving eye box. And the eye box is basically how much your eye can vary within that eye relief and still get full picture without vignettes. Very long eye relief scopes tend to be a little bit more critical, so about 90mm is about perfect, providing you've got no issues with massive recoil, which on most deer stalking rifles, which have commonly got moderators these days, is absolutely the fact. The 30mm tube's got lovely smooth anodising on the aluminium, there's no picking up skin dust or anything like that, and the overall length is 14.7 inches, which is 373mm. Overall weight is 23 ounces, which is 652 grams, and that's very much in keeping with common scopes within this sort of marketplace. But having the 16 times magnification with a 4 times erector tube, so you have got that low 4 power for field of view, all the way up to 16 for the longer shots, makes it very accommodating of all sorts of stalking activities. Now this one's got the MR1 MOA reticle in and its second focal plane, so do bear in mind that that reticle reads in minutes of angle only when it's at full magnification. So if you do need to make those longer shots at distance, wind up to full power, and you can rely on that reticle, if you have to make compensation, matching the actual value on your dials perfectly. Now the dials are capped and they've got 25 minutes of angle per rotation. Minutes of angle is approximately 1 inch at 100 yards, and it's the unit most people are familiar with for stalking rifles. The click value is quarter MOA, so you get 4 clicks to that 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. The clicks are quite strong, you can feel them easily whether you're looking or not, they're tactile. And best of all, when you have 0D rifle scope, these actual caps lift and you can just rotate them to mark your 0 position, so you're never going to get lost in that respect. Overall adjustment for elevation is 92 minutes of angle, and it's the same for the windage as well. These caps have got a nice characteristic design machined into them, so they're easy to get hold of, and when you can take them on and off so easily because the threads are also very smoothly machined with great anodising, so you've got no issue with actually anything like cross-threading or problems like that, and you don't have to worry about damaging anything. That is a sign of how well the optic is made externally, and I always think the external optic manufacturing standards do reflect somewhat upon what's gone on inside, so I think that's rewarding and confidence inspiring. Similarly, the zoom collar has got a nice pattern on it, so you get good grip hold of that, but it doesn't snag on things and it doesn't have a throw lever, so that's not going to snag either in a hunting scenario. There's no perception at all of internal mechanical travel, it's very smooth and it comes to a nice stop at either end of the magnification range. Similarly, focusing the ocular eyepiece gives you a lovely crisp reticle picture, and once it's set up you don't need to move it at all. All focus from then on is controlled by the side focus and parallax, which goes down as close as 50 yards all the way out to infinity, and there's no backlash in that. You do get a nice crisp picture, and I was very happy using it. This Hardline Pro version of the Crimson Trace 4-16 scope is far more accommodating to hunting because it's got these cap dials, so you're less likely to snag on anything like that. If you want, you can also have the Crimson Trace scope in a 4-16-50 specification in milliradians and with illumination and with taller turrets if you want, but you know, that's your preference as to which you think is going to suit you best. The scope is tracked well in terms of the mechanical movement of the dials, relating exactly to what's happening on target. It's also been good to see the image is completely clear edge to edge for focal field. You get a nice broad field of view, but most importantly it's a 90% light transmission. So all that size comes into play with the 30mm tube in the fact that the light that's coming through, 90% of that comes back out into your eye to give you a nice bright picture, especially when the low light is affecting your hunting scenario. I'd like to thank Sportsman Gun Centre for the loan of the optic and the rifle it's on at the moment. I've used some of their Element Optics XT rings, which are a superb functional item to make sure you can get the eye relief and height correct on your rifle. And don't forget to look in the description box for links to their site and also the Crimson Trace website, where you can catch up with more of the options that are available in this range of Hardline Pro optics and all of Crimson Trace's range. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that review. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and click the notification bell and keep track of my regular uploads. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.